You guys, let's get going. Here is our first big article of the day to cover. Let's get going. This is a blog on chess.com, and it has the question: impossible. Underdog 2542 FM 1-0 versus famous player GM 3071 minus 13 points. What a way to start this, by the way, with this graphic. This graphic is like, at least they put 3071 and not like, I don't know, 2936 or something. That would have been maybe a bit too far if they had put a very specific rating. But anyway, let's keep going. Okay. Let's get going. Chess.com Fair Play Report. Are there too many upsets entitled Tuesday? Question mark. This article is by Fair Play, April 25th, 2024. Here we go. This is the first of several planned reports from Chess.com's Fair Play team on cheating. In this report, we try to answer the question: are there too many upsets entitled Tuesday? Possibly suggesting widespread cheating. To answer this, we use publicly available data from Chess.com's own Title Tuesday events and from over-the-board OTB Blitz events. Okay. Did I miss something? So, is the setup still slightly wrong? One second. Is it still slightly wrong? No. Oh, sorry. It's still slightly wrong. One second. Let me adjust it. You're right. It is slightly wrong. Sorry. You're right. Okay, there we go. Okay. Here we go. Sorry about that, you guys. Anyway, let's keep going with the article. All right, here we go. Our analysis compares the rate of upsets in over-the-board blitz games to the rate of upsets in Title Tuesday games, measured by how well underdogs score against higher-rated opponents. We use FIDE blitz ratings to determine underdogs because they are completely independent of Chess.com ratings and best reflect the 3+1 time control we explore. Our research indicates that upset rates in Title Tuesday games and OTB blitz games are similar, typically within 5% of each other. What stands out in the research is that these similarities hold across all rating ranges. For example, when 2200s play against 2400s, we see an upset rate of 33% in OTB Blitz and 30% in Title Tuesday. So they're saying there are less upsets in Title Tuesday than OTB Blitz, 33 versus 30. So less upsets in Title Tuesday. Likewise, when 2500s play against 2700s, we see an upset rate of 32% in OTB Blitz and 30% in Title Tuesday. Oh, shucks. Gosh darn it, you guys. It looks like actually 2500s, when they play 2700s over the board, they perform better than in Title Tuesday. Oh, what a shame. Unlucky, right? Unlucky. Unlucky. So they actually perform better over the board than online. Very interesting. Yeah. Oof. Okay. Let's keep going. While upset rates are broadly similar in OTB Blitz and online play, we do identify some small discrepancies. These may be the result of skill differences in OTB Blitz and online play, inaccurate blitz ratings, normal variance, and cheating. While we can't say yet what portion is due to cheating, we know it exists. In the next report, we will tackle this question in greater detail. Okay, so this is going to be good. This is the first part of a multi-part series, right? From chess.com to begin with. Here we go. All right. The summary, I guess I'll make this a little bit bigger. I think we can just read this quickly. It's a 16-page report. I'm not going to go through all of it, but let's just go through it. This is the first several reports planned are now. Oh, this is actually what we already read. Sorry, this is what we already read. We at the same time, based on information we have, we believe that cheating in Title Tuesday is limited and does not meaningfully impact Title Tuesday from week to week. All right. This is probably the big point, what they put in bold here on page number 2. Okay, they have a series of reports coming up. We hope this gives the chess community a window into the scope of the cheating problem and why we believe Title Tuesday is an overwhelmingly clean and fair event. Open page 12. Yeah, I mean, I'll scroll through it. I'm not going to read all of this, of course, but approach series. They use sets of games outside Title Tuesday, and they use set of ratings that they trust are clean. Establish a baseline, blah, 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 average scores. Results. Okay, so this is where it gets fun. Okay, underdog average scores. Let's start by comparing the average scores of underdogs in Title Tuesday games and OTB Blitz games, where an underdog is any player who had a lower FIDE Blitz rating than their opponent. Okay, this says that in Title Tuesday, the average score is 32%, and over the board, it's 37%. Wait, what? Oh, wow. 167,440 Title Tuesday games versus 36,000 OTB Blitz games. And over the board, there are more upsets. Oh, wow. That's actually kind of shocking. That's kind of shocking. Wow. The favorites are cheating. Yeah, exactly. Good one, you guys. Good ones. Yeah. So, yeah, you're saying underdogs cheat more OTB, or the ratings are just wrong. But this is pretty damning in regards to someone who was saying something before. We see that underdogs in Title Tuesday perform worse than underdogs in OTB Blitz, average score of 37%. It makes sense that both groups of underdogs would have an average score below par 50. Now, it would be really good here, you guys. You know, it'd be really fun is if a certain someone goes and looks at his games in like the World Rapid and Blitz over the last 10 years, and then he looks at the games that he loses to all these random 28, 27, 2800 guys in Title Tuesday, and he'll probably say, see, but based on my personal scores, it's just wrong. And now, it might be wrong for that certain player, who knows, but nonetheless, it appears that across the board, it's pretty similar in general. Okay. Next up, what do we have? 50% underdogs. It says it might be surprising something in aggregate. Underdogs perform better in OT Blitz games than in Title Tuesday games. If lower rated players are actually underperforming in Title Tuesday, does that mean that Title Tuesday is no cheating? Or could it mean that higher rated players are the ones who are cheating the event? Also, definitely a legitimate question. We need to dig deeper into the data. To start, let's compare the average rating disadvantage of underdogs in Title Tuesday versus OTB Blitz. Kramnik will target Hikaru Noodles. Hey, what do you want me to say? He's already wasted a ton of time on it rather than looking for actual cheating. So that's all that needs to be said. Underdog average rating differences Title Tuesday versus OTB Blitz, both using FIDE ratings. What do we have? This is average rating difference is minus 225. Wait, versus 153 OTB. I'm not actually sure what that means. Wait. Average rating difference, that means they play 225 points worse on average versus 153 worse? Is that what that means? That means what does that mean actually? I'm kind of confused what this actually means. But anyway, Title Tuesday matchups tend to be more lopsided. Average rating difference is 225. OTB matches are much closer. Okay. OTB matches are much closer at 153 than 225. That makes quite a bit of sense. That actually makes a ton of sense because, like, I'll give you an example of skew going the wrong way. With the skew going the wrong way, I played Daniel Naroditsky in Title Tuesday 2 days ago, and his rating was 2961, and my rating was like 3300. And the fact is, Daniel is not 330 points lower rated than me, but he probably went on a bender playing all night and whatever else. So it makes sense that in general, the ratings are going to be much more lopsided and far less static than they would be over the board. Daniel adopted Wesley, sure, but he lost like 300 points quite recently. No, it makes sense that ratings could be inflated. They probably also fluctuate wildly relative to over the board. That makes a ton of sense, especially because if you think about over the board, there's the World Rapid and Blitz, and there are Grand Chester events, but very few Rapid and Blitz events otherwise. Makes perfect sense. Okay. Note for the two rating difference distribution. Okay, underdog average scores by rating difference. Let's compare underdog average scores by 50-point rating difference buckets. Title Tuesday. The difference is pretty small, looks like. I mean, I don't want to make this... I can make this a bit larger, I guess. But actually, how do I scroll? Can I scroll over? Oh, there we go. Okay. It's saying that at the FIDE rating, this is the difference in the buckets. Title Tuesday versus OTB Blitz. I mean, all these graphs look pretty similar, no? I mean, they all look pretty similar to me. They're all very, very close, Title Tuesday versus OTB. That's what it would seem like. So, all right, let's keep going. Okay. If we look at the leftmost buckets, it tells us someone scores something. I mean, let me scroll over. How do I scroll over? I want to show everything, but whatever. Let's keep going. Okay. Underdog average scores by rating buckets. Now we see the importance of comparing the average scores by rating. Let's take this one step further. In the previous section, we treated all equal rating differences as the same group. For example, all the following matches were joined together. Player rated 2000 versus 2300, 22 versus 25, blah, blah, blah. We see a 300-point differential. It is reasonable to ask them if cheating is happening in Title Tuesday, but only one of those kind of matchups. If that is the case, we could be missing cheating. Let's see if that is the case. Okay. Now we have another graph. I'll make this even larger. Actually, let me make this really large. I don't want to look super closely at this. It's saying the average scores. You guys can tell me what this means. I mean, I don't really understand it super well. I'm not a statistician, neither are other people who pretend to be. But This it doesn't look like there's anything glaring, but let's take a lot of what's said right below. The heat map on the top left shows the average scores that underdogs achieve in Title Tuesday with the lower and higher rated players. FIDE Blitz rating split 150, blah, blah, blah. The lower rated players score 17% on average. Okay. The heat map on the top right shows the same thing, but in OTB Blitz games. Again, if we look at the score with the violet outline, we see that lower rated player in OTB Blitz games is rated between 2150, 2290, and the lowest rated player also scores 17%. So it's saying they both score the same thing, right? They both score 17% on average, which, as I understand it, means they're scoring the exact same. Okay. I'm afraid of these blocks as they remind me of chemistry. Can't help. Yeah, so should we start reciting the periodic table now? Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron. Yeah, all those, yes. Anyway, let's keep going. Okay. The heat map on the bottom shows differences between the top left and top right heat maps. Again, if we look at the square with the violet outline, we see the lower rated players and the higher rated players rated between 2600. The difference in Title Tuesday underdog average score and OTB Blitz underdog average score is 0%. This makes sense. We just saw that the underdog average score is in each is 17%. If the square in the bottom heat map is positive, that means those underdogs are performing better in Title Tuesday than they are in OTB Blitz. If a square is negative, then that means that those underdogs are performing worse in Title Tuesday compared to in OTB Blitz. Taken as a whole, the heat map shows that even when we isolate for specific matchups by rating, underdogs perform at similar levels in Title Tuesday games and in OTB Blitz games. This is even true against the highest rated players, 2750 plus FIDE Blitz. Okay, all right. Quick recap. Let's summarize. Grouping all underdogs together, specific rating differences, players with specific ratings. For each comparison, we saw the average scores in Title Tuesday games mostly aligned with the average scores in OTB Blitz games. The difference that we did see were small and do not support the argument that cheating in Title Tuesday is widespread, even against top players. All right. Some of you may be wondering, why do we use FIDE Blitz ratings as a source instead of classical ratings, which many people consider the gold standard? We decided to use FIDE Blitz ratings for two reasons. We specifically want an unbiased measure of blitz strength and not classical strength because Title Tuesday games are blitz games. Intuitively, FIDE ratings should be better at measuring blitz strength and predicting the outcomes of both OTB and online blitz games than FIDE classical ratings. Okay. Makes perfect sense. Empirically, we look at how differences in FIDE classical rating map to OTB outcomes, etc. And yet, even though we don't think FIDE classical ratings are the best ratings to use to predict what's going to happen in blitz chess, we still made a comparison between the underdog average scores in Title Tuesday games and in OTB Blitz games, defining underdogs according to FIDE classical ratings this time around. Okay, conclusion. This research compared Title Tuesday outcomes to OTB Blitz outcomes and found the two tend to mirror each other. Okay, they mirror each other completely. That doesn't mean that we don't believe there's zero cheating in Title Tuesday or elsewhere on chess.com. Bad actors do exist on our site. They are occasionally title players, and we work hard behind the scenes to identify and prevent these players from ruining the chess playing experience for everyone else. In 2023, we closed over 150 title players, as well as over 1 million non-titled accounts. Holy mackerel. 1 million accounts. That is insane. That's actually insane how many accounts they close. Our report does identify some small discrepancies between underdog average scores in Title Tuesday games and OTB Blitz games. We believe these discrepancies reflect a combination of skill difference in online play, inaccurate blitz ratings, normal variance, and cheating. Yet, without more research, we cannot quantify how much of the discrepancies we see are explained by cheating. To answer the question, we will do more work in the coming months to assess outlier over and under performances and quantify these likelihoods so we can determine when a performance is likely to happen due to random chance and when there may be something else to explain it. Sometimes that will be cheating. We invite you into the conversation with us and appreciate you sharing anything you found compelling as well as unconvincing from the analysis here. We are eager to share more information and have an open conversation about the work undertaken at chess.com to provide a fair environment for online chess. So basically what they're saying is they're effectively saying there's no widespread cheating. I mean, is what it sounds like. And the underdogs actually perform better over the board than online. Now, as a fun little addendum, we're going to have a fun little fact to show you guys just how crazy it is sometimes when you look at stats and you start going off on a tangent. Because I saw like there were some people saying, oh, Hikaru's won 3 Title Tuesdays in a row. He must be cheating. And this is where it all gets extremely subjective. And you see the sort of what happens when players don't have much time. So this last little bit I'm going to do is a fun little addendum. We're going to run through a couple of my games from the last 3 Title Tuesdays, which I wanted to give you examples of specific games where players missed mate and won. They were completely winning, everything along those lines. So let me find my profile so I can show you 3 perfect examples of why I should not have won the last 3 Title Tuesdays. Let me go to my profile very quickly, and I'll pull up the games. Blitz, full stats. Yeah. Well, I'm pulling up my full stats, you guys. I don't think if I show full stats, it's not going to leak anything, is it? No. Okay. So let's go ahead. First things first, let's go back to the last game of Title Tuesday. Where is it? No, this should be recent. Last Title Tuesday I played was on April. Let me find it. It's not Enjal. It was not Justin Wang. It was against Chesscom, but I'm struggling to find the game. It's not April 2nd. I think it was much more recently than that. Just give me 1 second while I pull it up. This is a special tribute to a certain idiot out there who deserves to be told off. I'm just trying to find the game. It was against Chesscom. Where was it? It was Shannock, not Shankland. It was against Chesscom. Oh, there it is. I just saw it. Yeah. So this was the last game, I think, of the evening Title Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, from like 2 weeks ago or whenever it was. Okay. Now, this is a game that I played in the final round of Title Tuesday. I had 9 points out of 10, and as you're going to see from the bar, more than anything else, we're just going to keep going. We'll get to this point here where you can already tell the bar is definitely going the wrong direction. Okay. Let's keep going. Keep going. Keep going. We got this position. We have castles. I play d5, takes, rook b5, and now I play this move knight e7, takes, queen c3, and now bishop d3. Here I play a3, and after rook b3, queen a5, and bishop takes a3, the position, as you can tell, has gone completely sideways for me. I am completely lost here. This is minus 5.69. Now, the one good thing is my opponent is quite low on time here, and eventually he makes a big mistake. Now, he's still completely winning. Rook c3 is not best, but it should be good enough. I take... And here he proceeds to start messing it all up. He's still completely winning, but you'll notice that he only has 20 seconds. And with 20 seconds left, somehow he blunders here, and this is just sheerly due to him making mistakes. Still completely winning, as you can tell, but he ends up messing it up. I end up tricking him with little time. I win this game, and I believe when I won this game, I did win Title Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. I could have it slightly wrong, but this is a game where I was completely cooked. It was -6, dead loss, and when my opponent got low on time, I won the game. Now, going back to this week's Title Tuesday. Let's keep going. Let's go back to the first page. This Title Tuesday, I had 9 points out of 10, and I was playing against 9 points out of 10, and in the final round, I was playing against Ruud McCarran. So in this game, I had 9 points out of 10. Final round of the tournament. If I win, I win the tournament. If I lose, I don't. Anyway, we're going to keep going. We don't need to see a whole lot of this game, but you'll notice there's a point around move 27 where I'm simply much worse. I'm getting cooked here. Now, keep in mind, this IM, by the way, did beat Anish Giri in the Qatar Masters in Doha not so long ago, so I think he simply has not gotten the title of GM yet. Game goes on. Knight g3, takes. I play this move here, knight e5. As you can tell, it's minus 11 points, you guys. It's minus 11. Of course, I'm completely lost, but we're in a scramble. My opponent has a little bit of time left. And now in this position, I play the move queen f7. Now, as you guys can tell from the bar, black simply has mate in 3, mate in 1, mate in 3. Everywhere there's queen h2, which is checkmate, which would have won the game for Ruud McCarran. And he would have made $1,000 and taken home the grand prize in Title Tuesday. What happens? Instead, he plays knight g3. I go here. He checks. I go here. He goes queen f1. And oops, there goes the bar. From minus 13, minus 1, mate in 1, mate in 3. Suddenly, we're back to even. And obviously, eventually, I find a way to swindle him. It goes on. He plays knight e3. Apparently, rook h2 is still winning, by the way. But he goes here, and now after a7, you guys can tell that I'm simply winning. And my opponent flats. So I win this game, and I win the morning Title Tuesday, okay? So this is another example. My opponent had mate in 1. He had mate in 3. What you going to do? If my opponents are going to use mate in 1, that's not my problem, basically. So there's this one. Next up, let's go to the evening Title Tuesday. There are multiple games which I was losing. In fact, I think I was losing at least 3 games in the evening Title Tuesday. Let me pull it up. Let's start with the first one that for sure I was losing. So I'm playing against Mr. Daniel Naroditsky from the United States of America. I think it was like round 3 of the evening Title Tuesday. And in the opening, very quickly, I simply blunder this move, bishop takes f7, which checks my king on f8. I go king here, he castles, I play bishop g4. Now, apparently here it's probably better to take on d4, but I'm simply much, much worse out of the opening here. But inevitably, Daniel starts making some mistakes, and I end up getting to this point, and now the game is out of control, and I win the game. Another game where I'm completely lost and my opponent simply fails to find the best moves and beat me. So this is another game where I'm completely lost and I get lucky. Let's move on to another one. Where is the Spanish game? 1 second. The Spanish game. Okay, Jocelyn I can show, but there's this game against h4 par 5. Now this is a game where let's just go back to somewhere around here in the middle game. I castle, I keep playing good moves, and now I blunder with e5. After b4, I play bishop d7, bishop c5, and now I'm completely lost. There's queen c3, which traps the bishop on a3, and I'm just cooked. The game is over. I have lost the game because I'm going to lose my bishop. I play bishop h3, and now my opponent inevitably plays this move, queen to d6. Now, keep in mind, this is Jaime Santos Latasa from Spain, a 2650 plus player. If he plays queen c3, my bishop is trapped. I lose this game. This game is over. There's nothing I can do. I lose the bishop, I lose the game, and that's life. But Latasa plays queen d6 instead. He misses the free bishop on c3, plays queen d6, and inevitably I go on to win this game as well. This game also is still a draw much later on, but I find a way to win this game. So this is 2 games now. This is 2 games now where I'm getting cooked out of my mind in the evening title Tuesday, and I survive. And last but not least, of course, for the final ode, there's this game against Jose Martinez Alcantara. Now, this game was much messier objectively. We were both a lot lower on time, so it's not as clear cut. But nonetheless, in this game, we get to some position around here. I play this. I make a mistake with queen d3. He goes knight f4. I play here, and now as you'll see, the bar is out of control. Black is better by 2.25 if he finds a move bishop b5. But what does he do? He plays rook to e4. The game continues to go on. I think somewhere later I'm even losing again, but I find a way to get the swindle and win the game. Now, this game's not of the same caliber per se, but you'll see 3 games where I was much worse, if not outright losing, and I won all of them. Now, the one against Santos Latasa specifically is just one of those games where if you want to accuse me of anything, you better accuse me of just like the voodoo, because the voodoo to get my opponent to not play queen c3, I mean, maybe you want to say I'm Professor X or something and I can mind control people. To miss queen c3 like a 2650, to see a 2650 player here missing queen to c3 and winning this bishop and the game, that's just voodoo. Nothing else needs to be said. Simply voodoo. So this is just another example when you look at these Title Tuesdays of things like all 3 of these Title Tuesday. If I lose even one of these games, I don't win. My opponent misses mate in one in the early one. The game against Kasparov, I'm losing. This game against Jaime Santos Latasa, the game against Daniel, getting completely cooked in all these games, and what happens? I find a way to win the game. So that's why it's very easy to try and look at stats and say, oh, someone can't do this, they can't do that. But at the end of the day, you have to look at the actual chess. You look at the actual chess and you see that, like, there were a lot of these games where I got incredibly lucky, where my opponents got low on time and they actually blundered. That's all that needs to be said. So, all right, you guys. That's probably going to be it for right now. Let me see if there's anything else that I need to cover. But yeah, that's the bottom line. I got here in time for the great weather. Exactly. No, but I mean, it does need to be said, because the fact of the matter is it's being disingenuous. It really is. Like when you look at the realities of the situation, the fact of the matter is you look at the games and you see what's happening in the games. And like I said, if even one of these games goes differently, I don't win a single one of these Title Tuesdays. Not a single one. That's simply the bottom line. That's why, like, at some point initially, you start thinking someone's trying to do something, it's in good faith, and then you realize it's not in good faith at a certain point. It's purely about seeking attention, because you look at the games, and whether it's my games, whether it's Jose or others, there are a lot of moments in these games where if even a single move goes differently, like if Jaime Santos Latasa plays queen c3 against me, I lose this game. I do not win Title Tuesday. I just do not win whatsoever. So that's gonna be Kramnik will destroy you. Be quiet, Noodles. You want to get banned? Destroy me, please. He already tried, and I'm not cheating, so there's nothing to do. What do you want me to say? And also, I would say, just separately aside from that, even I beat him in over the board chess. I have a plus record against him in classical chess. That's the reality. I beat him in classical chess. So he has no legs to stand on anyway. What do you want me to say? He lost me over the board. He'd lose to me online. He's lost. He just lost. Just that simple. But anyway, all right, you guys. So I think that's going to be it for this portion of the stream here. I'm going to be moving over to